Hello, SHRM family. Welcome to a special edition of the Workplace Tech Spotlight. Thank you for joining us. My name is Guillermo Corea. I'm the Managing Director of SHRM Labs, SHRM's Workplace Innovation Lab. At SHRM Labs, we're inspiring innovation to create better workplace technologies that solve today's most pressing workplace challenges. One of the exciting ways we're pushing the envelope of HR tech is through our Better Workplaces Challenge Cup. Today, we're featuring the two innovators that will be competing in the finals of the top workplace tech pitch competition in the world. This three-round competition, which started in February, features the most innovative HR tech startups from around the world. During each round of the competition, participants were given the opportunity to pitch their product to a panel of judges composed of HR practitioners and business executives. Participants were judged using the following criteria. Number one, is this a business that will be able to grow to positively affect the lives and work of millions of employees? Number two, is this a business that will create better workplaces where employers and employees thrive together? Because you have to have a balance between the two of them. And then finally, something that is very, very important to this audience, is this a business that will provide value to SHRM members and their companies by helping HR professionals become more efficient and strategic? This year's competition culminates at SHRM's annual conference and expo, the biggest HR show in the world. In less than a week, these two finalists will compete in front of a live audience in Las Vegas. And in case you haven't heard, this year we're going to be welcoming over 20,000 attendees that will help us celebrate SHRM's 75th anniversary. So by the way, if you're attending, please let us know in the comments why you are so excited to be at the annual conference this year. So today I'm excited to have the finalists with us so that they can share with you how they are revolutionizing the workplace tech space. So please help me in welcoming to the stage. First off, Robin Van Dalen, founder and co-CEO of Inuka Coaching. Hello, Robin. Welcome to the stage. And last but not least, Adriana Cisneros Basulto, founder and CEO of Maxwell. Ladies, welcome to the stage. But before we get into the discussion, I just wanted to say major congratulations for making it through this very, very tough competition. Just being accepted into the competition is a great feat on its own, given the number of applications that we receive. And then the other thing that I'm going to point out is that this is the second year in a row that all the finalists are women. So major congratulations to you both for making it this far. And honestly, as I mentioned to you the other day, I can't wait to see the two of you live in person competing up there on the stage. So let's get going here. Before we get into all the details and everything, how about if each one of you tells us a little bit about where you're based out of, what inspired you, why your company and all that. Adriana, do you want to get us started?
Yeah, I can do that. Well, Guillermo, thank you again for having us. It truly is an honor to be on the stage with you and with Robin. And I know you keep referring to it being a competition, but I can tell you, and Robin and I have had conversations, and we agree that it's already a winning proposition for any employer that they are adopting technologies and solutions like Inuka and like Maxwell to create better workplaces. So with that said, Maxwell is remote first. So we really are located everywhere. But our headquarters is smacked in the middle of the United States in Omaha, Nebraska. And in terms of what inspires me or who inspires me, there are certainly a lot of people, including my children. My children inspire me a lot in many different ways, my husband. But if I had to name one person that has been really impactful, it would be Maya Angelou. She had such an incredible way of distilling really incredibly impactful concepts into like small digestible bites. And one of my favorite quotes from her is when she famously said, "People will forget what you said. People will forget what you do, but they won't forget how you make them feel." And that is at the core of how Maxwell works. That's what we're here to do, is to help make employees feel valued by their employers. And it's also something that I try to keep in mind in how I lead my life. How am I making people feel when they meet with me?
Fantastic. Robin?
Yes, I'm Robin, headquartered in Amsterdam, also remote first. Maybe it says something about how we're organized that you make it to finals of competitions. Yeah, and who inspires me? It's my mom, actually. It's very cliche. I'm sorry, but it's just true. Cliches is often cliches because it's true, right? But yeah, my mom never had any education. She had the education in Dutch, what you call the huishoudschool, which is mean you learn how to be a good housewife. Remember, like, this is my mom. It's not that old, but see how times could have changed.
Yeah.
And I think she really inspired both me and my brother to really be the best we could be. And we both ended up in Cambridge and Oxford, but more importantly, to really do what we really believe in, what we're really passionate about, that gives us joy and that makes an impact for the world. And that's also what I'm doing with Inuka. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, maybe, maybe you can tell us a little bit about, very briefly about Inuka coaching and what you guys do.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so Inuka is a B Corp and Philips Healthcare spin-out, and we basically help companies to make the impact they make on employee well-being and engagement to make that impact measurable. Yeah, and we're very happy to be here.
Fantastic. And Adriana, maybe you can tell us a little bit about Maxwell. Obviously you guys are focused on life work benefits, but what are the benefits that you're seeing that are being the most impactful for employees and employers out there?
Yeah, so maybe a little bit of context of why even start Maxwell and what we do. So at the end of the day, I mean, you heard me talk about we're helping employers make their employees feel valued. That's ultimately how we're measuring our success. But in terms of how we do that is it's actually providing them with solutions that are going to bring balance and joy on the day-to-day. And therefore are going to allow them to feel rested, recharged, feel engaged, do better at work. And in a way that's going to be easier for the HR department, that is not going to come with a high cost or a big administrative burden. So that's what we're doing. And then your question was, Guillermo, what are some of the benefits that are most impactful, right? Since we deal with life work benefits. Well, what I'm going to say is, first and foremost, it's good to remember that at least in the US, there's still an expectation from employees that you're going to be offering healthcare, that you're going to be offering retirement, that you're going to be offering time off or PTO. Like that is baseline. But beyond that, the type of benefits that are the most impactful are those that are meeting people where they're at. So if I am a new mom that's returning to work and I have to travel and I'm still breastfeeding, what's going to be really impactful to me is that you're offering breast milk shipping. If I am someone that's living paycheck to paycheck, the fact that you pay for transportation to and from work, like from work to home, etc., that's going to be impactful to me. And if I am someone that is having to take care of my aging parents and you have backup elder care, that's going to be impactful. So the key is that employer is understanding what are the unique needs of my workforce, tailoring a package that's going to fit those needs, and then, of course, having to review it over time because those needs are going to change. So that's the long answer to your question.
Absolutely. Fantastic. And Robin, same thing with Inuka coaching. I know you guys are focused on building resilient employees. So in your mind, what, maybe you can expand a little bit on that and tell the audience, what makes an employee resilient.
Yeah. That's first and foremost, the most important thing is being aware, when you're resilient and when you're not. And what are the factors that makes that you can be resilient? And resilience also may be important to define, but it's really the ability to cope with anything that life throws you, whether it's, in your private life or work life or anywhere in between. So really being able to recognize, okay, there's something coming. What does it do to me? How am I right now? And what can I do to make sure I'm going to get the best out of the situation, the best out of myself, and be still caring towards the people around me, including my colleagues and everything. So that's the most important thing.
Got it. Why do you think, why is employee resilience important for employers, and how can they recognize if there's an issue in the workplace?
Yeah, I mean, change is going faster every day. It's never been this slow before, and will never be this. It's never been this fast before, and it will never be this slow again. So, the pace at which the world is changing is just incredible. And in order to deal with that, you need people to be able to change, to be able to recognize what the company need to do, to be adaptable and to be resilient. How to we build a resilient organization. And in order to do that, of course, it's crucial, absolutely necessary that you have really resilient employees who can also cope with change themselves, who also can cope with the changes that happens in their personal lives. And yeah, that's just crucial for companies in the current day and age.
Yeah, fantastic. And, adaptability and flexibility are always, is something that it's important for both employers and employees to have. Adriana, on your end, right? Why should employers and specifically HR keep in mind when thinking about how they should value their employees, right?
Yeah, I love this question. So thank you so much for asking me about this, because just like Robin is talking about the fast pace that we live in, which I couldn't agree more about, is one of the things that we keep a lot in mind at Maxwell. Life moves so fast, both from a work perspective and a personal perspective. You can feel like you're just running on a treadmill, right? Like you're getting nowhere if you're not careful. And very quickly, the day-to-day joy is drained away. So it has become more important than ever to show employees that you value them. To add to it, we are facing a labor shortage. There is, in particular, several industries, including healthcare, where this is very prominent, and something that we should care about, by the way, because guess what? We are all consumers of healthcare. So if there's a shortage, that matters. And the best way to solve for it is actually starting with retaining the people that we have in our workplaces, the amazing talent that we have there. The best way to do that is actually make them feel valued, which again, that's what we focus on at Maxwell. But what can HR teams and employers keep in mind to do the same? I'm going to share a framework that we use at Maxwell that I think is very useful. That framework is to think of employees as customers of the workplace. So we, as organizations, we all have some sort of customer, and we do really good about making sure that they feel valued. We make very sure about making sure they're happy, retaining them, because we want their business, right? We don't want them to go away. So if we can adopt the same framework for employees, if we can highlight to them, this is why your work matters, this is how it matters, celebrate the small and little victories, and then also showing them what are we investing in them in return, which sometimes we don't do a great job of. Maybe we might tell them when we hire them, when we onboard them, maybe once a year. We can keep that top of mind. We're just going to be better off in retaining them. And I'll come back to just using the same words again of Maya Angelou, right? Like if we keep that in mind, that is not just what we said and what we did. If we really make them feel valued using that framework, that's what's going to help them stay.
Fantastic. Yeah, we're running a little bit out of time here, but one question that I want to ask both of you is, are there any resources that you know of that can help our audience out there, and maybe you can share some of that. Robin, do you want to go first?
Yes, sure. Yeah, so we do this well-being interview series where we really interview the leading HR people in the world, chief HROs, well-being leads, on what they do on this topic and how they build resilient organizations and what they do to keep employees well. And I think there's really some amazing insights that come out of these interviews. So I'll share a link in the chat where you can find those interviews.
Fantastic. And I think you also said that at the annual conference, right? Because you guys are going to be there. You're bringing I forget exactly what you called it, but it's kind of like a live in-person test that you do there to gauge what is it?
Two things. It's a well-being scan for you as a person, but it's also a well-being maturity scan for you as an organization to see where you stand and how you care for your people, basically. Yeah.
Fantastic. So if you're an annual attendee, make sure you stop by our Workplace Innovation Zone to take those two wellness tests. Adriana, any resources that you can mention for our audience?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I'm excited to take the scan. I want to know how we're doing. But yeah, beyond that, two things. So one, you can come over to our website. If you go to maxwell.app, there's a section that is resources. Just scroll to the bottom. We have a blog in which we talk a lot about like benefits, what's happening in that space. I would remiss to also not to mention that SHRM has a ton of amazing resources that you can leverage on this space, and we are often quoting them. And then the last thing I will mention too is you can subscribe to our newsletter. Once a month, we put out a newsletter that talks about the top 2 topics in people and culture with a unique lens of life work. So please come over and subscribe that on our website and stay in touch with us.
Okay. And last question to both of you. Adriana, you go first. How are you helping HR become more strategic?
2 very easy ways. Obviously, we are helping HR save money. The cost of losing an employer is a lot bigger than the cost of Maxwell, but we're also saving them time. We're saving them the HR team, administrative work, communication work that now they can spend being strategic. So that's the first one. And then the second way that we're helping them being strategic is by the data we're able to provide them. Through the HR view of Maxwell, they're able to see not just the way that their employees are using their life work benefits that they have, but also additional data around energy levels and productivity, and then can cross and dice it with some demographic data. So that's the second part, is we give them the time, and second, we give them the insightful data to make strategic decisions.
Fantastic. And Robin, on your end?
Yeah, so we have a benefit that really, like for all employees, they have unlimited access to really quality coaching and also really the measurable results. So of course, that's something that has an impact on the bottom line. But what really makes basically a strategic seat to the table for HR is that we have the data insight as well that Adriana mentioned. I think it's a lot of similarities here. But yeah, that we can, from the coaching conversations, we can extract what are the themes that are going on in the organization in different departments, and really make sure you have data-driven HR policies that really address the issues that are relevant for the different parts of the organizations, which is this data you cannot get any other way.
Okay. Fantastic. Excellent. All right. Well, unfortunately, that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you, Adriana. Thank you, Robin, for joining us for this special edition of the Workplace Tech Spotlight. We look forward to seeing you at the annual conference, and I can't wait for the 2 of you to be up there on stage with the judges. All right. For you out there, we hope you enjoyed this special edition of the Workplace Tech Spotlight. If you would like to connect with our finalists, please visit them at maxwell.app and inukacoaching.com. Inuka is spelled INUKA coaching.com. As mentioned, the finalists are going to be competing in the finals at the SHRM 2023 event on Monday, June 12th at 3 p.m. in Las Vegas. We hope you can join us either in person or virtually to see who will be crowned this year's champion. Also, to learn more about this competition, please visit betterworkplaceschallengecup.com, and have a great day, everyone. See you soon.